Cindy.
Hi,
Can you
everybody.
hear us? Okay, I think we'll go ahead and start. What do you think, Marcia?
I would give people another 3 or 4 minutes, actually.
Okay.
How's everybody's spring going?
Where are my cows?
They're right there. Waffles like got out of the regular pen and started running around the grass area, and I was like, oh boy, here we go. Kicking up her heels. She's like as tall as probably my shoulder. She's really tall. Gonna be fun. How's your grass growing over there?
It's coming along. We mowed the lawn the other day.
Really? There was enough to mow? Oh, that's good news. Okay.
Yeah.
Or the lawnmower wanted money.
I thought you had an electric one.
No, well, we do, but there's no one to push it.
Well, I think this is about it. So we'll go ahead and start. And then if anyone joins, you can add them in, Mary Sue. Yeah. Okay. So I want to introduce the current board, which is Marcia, and she's our treasurer. And I am the vice president. And my name's Deborah, and you all know Marcia. So, and I want to also thank Ronnie Smith, Jess Sappington, and Kathy Reed for the past board, working on the board before in the past. And also our last annual meeting was in March 3rd, 2021. So we didn't meet last year. And part of that was our president, Ron, stepped down, and our website manager. So we've kind of been in a flux this year, but we're going to see where we are now and go forward. So thank you all for coming, because this is important to see the members and have us all together and meet. So also, before we start, this is part of it. I'd like to go through the 7 co-op principles, so we understand what we're based on. And the first is voluntary and open membership. The second is a democratic member control. Third, member economic participation. Fourth, autonomy and independence. Fifth, education, training, and information. Sixth, cooperation among cooperatives. And 7, concern for community. And so those are the principles a co-op is based on. And that's what we're based on. So at the present time, we don't, well, I'm going to have Marcia give us our treasurer's report.
Okay, so are you all seeing our financial picture?
Yes.
Okay, so this is a snapshot of where we stand. We have cash on hand of over 12,000. We have a certificate of deposit of 12,000, giving us a total cash on hand of almost 25,000. And we have owner's equity of 26,100. So what that basically means is if we were to shut down tomorrow, we could return almost all the money that our members have paid in to be a member of the co-op. And I'm certainly not suggesting that we do that. I'm just explaining what those two numbers, how those two numbers relate. So I'm going to give you a moment to digest that and ask questions if you have any.
Do we have any assets?
No, we don't.
Yes, we do. Why don't we have comforters? Marcia. 2 comforters, a king and a queen.
Those aren't assets, they're inventory. And since Twisted Strait didn't pay for them, they don't appear anywhere.
I see.
No, we don't have any discernible assets. Well, if anybody else have any questions on this? If not, Marcia's going to explain how we can go forward from here with a wool pelletizer.
Okay. I am going to have to stop sharing for a minute. Mary Beth, Mary Sue, I have it's a
Is it a slideshow?
yeah.
So it should just keep going. We're looking at the financial picture. So
Yeah.
on your
I'm not-
end, you might be able to go advance it to the next screen.
I'm not seeing any way to do that.
Hit escape because it may take it down from full screen down to the.
No, that's not
Didn't work
working.
either? Okay, so you're gonna have to stop sharing like you were gonna do, which you did. And then very briefly, when you brought it back up, so you just have to advance to the slide you wanna be on. And if you leave it a small screen, then you'd be able to advance it, so.
Maybe go into the first one you want to share and then put share on that one.
Sorry, everybody.
That's okay. The financial came up again.
Yeah, it came up very quickly and then it went away, but there was an X in the middle of my screen. I don't know if you saw it on your screen.
No.
Okay. I'm such a doofus. I'm sorry, people.
Do you want to email it to me?
Nope.
No, okay.
You know what? I can just read it to you or just talk to you about it. So,
Marcia?
Yes.
Can you just try putting it back up there for a second and then hit your right arrow? I think it'll start cooking.
That does make a lot of sense.
Is it in the same file or is in the same place as you had the report? Or is it a totally?
Oh, never mind. Hang on. Okay, well, are you seeing?
Yes.
Mhm.
What is earth woolly? What is an earth woolly?
Okay,
Yes, we are seeing it.
so those of you who don't know what we've been up to, I will try to briefly explain this exercise that we went through. Some time ago, the whole concept of pelletized wool came to my attention, and I did a considerable amount of research on it. And what an wool pellet is basically raw wool that has been through a machine similar to a machine that makes wood pellets. They aren't totally compatible, which turns out to be the rub, but that's how an earth wool, a wool pellet is made. They are about 9% nitrogen, 1% phosphorus, and a very small amount of potassium. They add nitrogen to the soil, obviously. They make a great soil amendment if you've got sandy soil, or if you have clay soil, it will help loosen it up. It's been used more in Europe than it has been here. There is a gentleman in Utah who has started making them. And as I also see on the slide, they are 50% carbon. They absorb 20% of their weight by water and release it slowly. So it decreases the amount of watering you have to do. So that's basically what an earth woolly is. Back in the summer of 2020, and now this is such ancient history, I contacted a company in Colorado that makes wood pellet equipment. And they suggested that I send them some wool to try, which I did. And a few weeks later, they sent me a video of them making pellets out of the wool that I sent them. And wahoo, this is all going to work out. And we, in exchange for the certificate of deposit that we have at Kitsap Bank, they gave us a loan for $12,000, with which we ordered the pelletizer. The first pelletizer showed up in November and it got here damaged, so I had to send it back. And the second one showed up in January. And then I had to wait while my husband electrified the barn so that it could be plugged in. And then I started working with it, and I tried for 2 months and I could not make it work. And finally, I contacted the people we got the machine from, and they admitted to me that the machine they used to test the pellets had a bigger motor than the one that they sold me. So I ended up sending everything back. They gave us a 100% refund on the cost of the equipment, but we had to pay for the shipping. In the meantime, we hired Bootstrap Commercial Arts in Port Townsend to design boxes for us. And we have these 2,000 absolutely adorable boxes ready to be filled with pelleted wool. We also got a code. What is that thing
QR
called?
code?
Yes, not a QR, but something similar to that. Yes.
Barcode.
A barcode, yes. We have 500 business cards. We have everything except an equipment that will make pellets. So in the meantime, I attended a Zoom meeting given by a woman in Canada who has been working with a company in Illinois that is making, has been able to get wool pallets out of a wood pelletizer. And she showed it working. She's been selling pellets. So there is a possibility that if we wanted to, we could buy this equipment and get back into business. There is a group in Port Angeles that it's called Dollars and Cents. It's an individual investment group, and they are willing to loan us money. I don't know at what percentage. We do have the money on hand to buy it if we decide to go that way. So this is all food for thought. When we did it the first time, we had a board of directors who could approve our taking that step, but I don't feel that we have a board of directors at this point that can approve it. So I guess we're looking to the membership to say we should go ahead with it. But that really brings us back to the point that we only have a skeleton board of directors, and it's really not enough to move forward. So we would need people to step up to the plate. So are there questions about what's happened so far?
Well, I think it's a great idea. And the fact that it's less water, the various public utilities are going to love you for it, and would probably help us promote it.
That's a good idea. I hadn't thought of that.
Well, the other thing, if we do this, because we don't really have enough money coming in. So what this would do is start bringing in some money and get Twisted Strait fiber off the ground. So because we can't rent a building to put it for everything, that if we did get a loan, without the money, you can't do it. But if we can start raising money and have an income, it would help when we're ready to get the bigger equipment that we need to be a fiber co-op, and also to be able to rent.
So have you looked at Craft 3 as a source for a loan? I mean, right now we don't necessarily need a loan because, you know, as long as the members would all know that we're going to do $7,000 if it's about the same cost to buy this. Do you know how much the boxes sell for, Marcia? But once they're filled with woolies.
You know, right. They're sold in 2-pound lots. And it seems to me when I did the original draft, it was like $24 for a 2-pound box, which left us room for a wholesale price. So my thought was that we would sell them as both as $24 individual boxes and a wholesale price of a case for like $12 a box.
Yeah.
That pencils out. How many pounds? So it's just, is there a lot of waste, or is
No,
it this
no.
just, it's just anybody's fleece? It can be dirty or whatever because it's just going back in the ground, or?
Yes.
Yeah.
It can have dirt in it. I mean, to a point.
It should have dirt in it.
Yeah.
That's the nitrogen source. Yeah.
If I remember correctly, part of the reason that we were wanting to do a loan on this in the first place was to build credit.
That's correct. That's correct. Because we could have done it without the loan originally.
And
You're
that's
right.
why I suggested Craft 3. Craft 3 is a larger group of people that put in money to help businesses off the ground. And when COVID hit, Craft 3 was offering a great loans to small businesses. And so since we knew we had to put a roof on the building for the store, we went to them and we got, you got approved right away. It was easy peasy. And the loan was a reduced rate and it was under 5%. I think it might have been 3.5 at the time, but they're another place to look at for a loan because that's the kind of business they do. And they've been around probably longer than this dollars and cents. I think I heard about the dollars and cents one that was working on it, but.
We have approached them for much larger amounts of money in the past, and they were a little worried about us, but maybe with a project like this, which is a little more reasonable, they'd be more willing to talk to us.
What would be the marketing plan? How are we gonna market this? The Woolies.
Well, my thought was to sell cases to garden supply stores.
Mhm.
There's also, we have, can sell the boxes by the case to our members who may have an outlet of their own, and they can make money selling them.
So on the wholesale price then gives us some return.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yep.
And then I'll bring this up again. The PUDs may buy them from you at not wholesale, but you could sell to the PUDs at full cost because they would want to start giving some of them out. They always buy like light bulbs and things like that, and they have them to entice people to start doing things. So they may want to, when we get farther down the road and we start selling more, they may want to jump on board because again,
Okay.
water conservation is big for them.
My biggest concern is where are we going to get the wool for this? Is there going to be a large enough draw from the co-op members? Or are we going to have to kind of scramble around to find waste wool through the shearers, or what is that plan?
I believe we will have to put the word out. I'm sure Elizabeth Reesager, our local shearer, would be very helpful. I know somebody down on the Long Branch Peninsula who has 70 or 80 sheep, and he throws that wool all away. So, I think if we put out the feelers, we could probably come up with quite a bit of wool.
The last time when I had Elizabeth here for sharing in the fall, she did ask me about what the status of that was, and was was interested and prepared to bring me whatever waste or skirtings that people didn't want to keep. And I know that in my barn I have at least 4 or 5 bags of skirtings that I've set aside that I haven't done anything with because I was hoping this would happen.
That's great, Wendy. And that's really great to know that Elizabeth is on board. And then I guess my next question is then who will run the equipment and make sure that that all of the wool gets through the pelletizer?
Well, we've discussed this as a board, and we can have volunteers. So we can have a day, because it does go fairly fast, apparently. And once you get organized, if we have a volunteer day, it would be members, or members bring in friends. And we all do it, we box it up and send it through the pelletizer, box it and get it ready.
In the past, I have volunteered to use my barn as a home for the pelletizer. At this point, I'm not sure I'm willing to do that. And I think that wherever we do end up placing it, There should be just 1 or 2 people who use the pelletizer, make the pellets in advance, and then the volunteers get together to put it in the boxes. I don't think we want a lot of activity. It's just a liability issue.
How much, what is the footprint that you need? How many square feet do you need for the machine and around it?
Oh, probably, I'm gonna say it's not very much, 20 square feet for the pelletizer at the most, but
Okay.
what takes all the room is the wool.
Yeah,
And what's the electricity consumption? Do you have some clue about that?
Oh, it's more than 220. It has to be directly placed in the wall. It's not a plug-in.
Okay.
Oh, it has to be hardwired?
Yes, thank you.
Marcia, would you mind not sharing your screen so we can see all the members? It's just nice to know who's talking.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
Sure.
And so then I guess I just lost my next question, I think. It'll come back, I promise.
Jenny, I wanted to ask you about, didn't you hear about or know of some company in Indiana who did this pelletizing?
Yeah, actually, I have reached out to them just because Josh and I are trying to be at the Kingston market this year with our farm. And I reached out to them about offering wool pellets, mostly from the standpoint of wanting to just promote wool in any form possible, because that's what is sort of my passion. And so in the middle of that, I have reached out to them. Their price is much greater, Marcia, just for the record. I can't exactly remember off the top of my head the wholesale pricing, but their recommended MSRP is $13.99 for 8 ounces. So that's a pretty big difference, just so you know. And then Marcia had also mentioned that Skagit Wool is now offering a pelletizer. So I did reach out to them as well, because of course they're more local. If you're not familiar with Skagit, they are over in Mount Vernon. And she explained to me that currently they can make wool pellets for others. They need to have the chopping machine. So that was my next question, Marcia. Does this include the chopping machine? Because she said that anything for 4 inches or longer binds down their pelletizing machine. And so they're waiting to get this other machine before they can launch a bigger sort of wholesale program where they can do what this other company is doing.
Yes.
A lot of questions. I apologize.
That's okay. The man at the Buskirk Engineering, which is in Indiana, they have come up with a shredder, and they are in the process of manufacturing it. And he mentioned that Anne at Skagit is waiting for hers. So there's a bit of a backlog.
So this is Jenny. Is that piece of equipment absolutely necessary, the chopper, only if you have wool beyond a certain length?
I believe it's not absolutely necessary. You do have to break it apart with your hands to a certain extent.
Kind of like a picker.
Yeah, but not so thorough, maybe.
Mhm.
Marcia, this is Angela. Is the pelletizer the same one that Ann Hunter's using in Manitoba? Is that who you're talking
Yes.
about? Long Way Wool? Okay,
Yeah.
so on her Instagram, she's got pictures of using a pelletizer, and it's quite a small machine. Is that the same one that you're looking at? Which is
It would be, yes, and it's very similar in size to the one that I tried.
Okay, and so there you can see in the video her handle is hashtag Long Way Homestead. If anybody's on Instagram, you want to see it. And she's just pulling apart the larger chunks of wool. She's not, it's not like she's like making it, you know,
Neat and tidy.
fluffy.
No.
Yeah, it's not, yeah. So it's more just like the funnel that leads into the pelletizer
Right.
needs to just have a small amount at a time, like a handful, looks like.
Can you re-say that hashtag long way?
Long Way Homestead.
Thank you.
It's all spelled out as it sounds, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Marcia, did I miss, how much does the piece of equipment cost?
It's 8,000 for the pelletizer, but then it's another, I want to say 4,000 or 5,000 for the shredder.
Okay, and we'd want that.
Yes. Though it's not absolutely necessary to have it to get started.
And is the gallon Manitoba the only other wool person using this pelletizer that's originally for wood? I mean, is that, or are there more
No,
people?
I got the impression that this man, the gentleman I talked to at Busker, has sold quite a few of them. I happened to ask him if he had sold any in this area, which is how I found out about Skagit.
Oh, okay. So Skagit has the same
Yes.
piece of equipment. Ah, okay.
There is another one made by a company called Elf, which is considerably bigger. So it costs a lot more money. It's like $25,000 and it takes 3-phase power. So we would probably have to rent a space to put it, which, so I'm not really even considering that because the cost would be so much higher.
It seems like a small outlay of capital for a good return. Have you looked at Shared Capital? I know I've mentioned them in the past, but I don't know if you had talked to them. They're the cooperative lending organization in
Right.
Minneapolis.
And since we didn't feel, no, we haven't. And I
Okay.
have recently talked to John McCormick, who is with the, John McNamara, excuse me,
McNamara, yeah.
with the Northwest Cooperative Development Center. And he has come up with another company on the East Coast. And he sent me an application for a loan, and they are eager to get into agriculture and they are eager to have more business on the West Coast. So there's another possibility. So
Are they
for a
are they
simple,
cooperative focused?
yes, yes,
Okay.
yeah, it's called LEAF.
Oh, I think
Yeah.
I think they partnered with Share Capital before. They
Okay.
partner together
Uh-huh.
for lending larger sums to bigger projects. Yeah.
Right, and John was talking about combining, LEAF and Shared Capital and getting enough money to start the mill.
Hmm.
But it makes me nervous. I'm not sure we can pay that much in interest and still be viable, but that's another subject.
Question, sorry.
Go ahead.
Is anyone in a part of the Fiber Shed network?
Yeah.
Because a few months back, I was in a Zoom where they were promoting using wool offcuts for insulation in homes. Did anybody else participate with that? Anyway, the point is maybe within the network, they would be able to have the same kind of resources for us as far as getting the wool, extra wool supplies and also promotion from them, because Fiber Shed down here, I'm in California right now, and it's the Fiber Shed network down here is really strong and really active. And of course, places like Southern California, where, it's a desert environment, except for the spring, this would be a product that would be very, very exciting for them. And there may be people within the network that would be willing to get behind and support this initiative as well, if we were to reach out, just like they're supporting the initiative with the home insulation. Just a thought.
Wow.
That's a good one.
Is it Amy's group? Were you talking about the wool the wool reuse. They have a very nice name for the fiber shed that is working group that's putting together wool byproduct like research. Is that the group you're talking about? Is it Amy Dufont?
That's a good question. That was a while ago. I want to say that the at least the installation project was either on the east coast of the United States or it was in England. I've forgotten now. Because
it's on the east coast because it's the fiber shed Southwest New England fiber shed.
There you go.
Yeah, and it's like got a too complicated of a name. Exactly. Yeah. Their group is fabulous. I think I sent a note to Marcia about joining up with them because that they're looking at wool pellets. They're looking at all kinds of different products that would like enhance the farmer's take home, I guess, from trying to be able to maximize all the products coming off the farm. So it's I could send out the link again for her group, and it's open to anybody.
I would also like to mention that one of the advantages of the wool pellets is that the wool does not need to be washed.
Exactly.
Um,
Installation needs to be washed.
If we were to like acquire from let's say a mill that has, when they're spinning and they get all the fuzzy bits that they have to discard, I'd assume we could use that, but it shouldn't be dyed then, correct?
No.
Marcia, it's Jenny. Given the footprint of this pelletizer, I could consider having it in my barn, but I don't have the electrical capacity. And I'm wondering if that is going to be a barrier. It sounds like you need at least 220. Is that what you're saying? And it needs to be wired in?
I am not, let me put it this way. When we put that first one into our barn does not have 220. But my husband was able to rig it so that it would run off the power that was there. We would have to consult with him to figure out how all that works.
Well, this next machine, is it require more or less?
It's probably the same.
Probably the same.
Mm-hmm.
And then just a practical question about wool waste in and wool waste out. When you pelletize, let's say you put, 10 pounds of wool waste in, where do you get back in pellets? Is it an equal amount?
9.5.
Okay.
Oh, that's good.
Pretty good.
So Marcia, because we haven't met in so long, what is your sense of our numbers? And I guess I just want to, this sounds so dreamy that I want to make sure that we have like the critical mass to make it a really great option for everyone, and that people are really going to want to put their energy into it. Do you know what I mean? Like,
I
do you
know exactly what you're saying. I feel we have not had any new members in quite some time.
Yeah.
I feel as though as an organization, we have lost some credibility. And we certainly can't move forward unless we have a board of directors. But I also think that this would be an exciting way to gain some attention.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. But so just looking at the numbers of people here tonight, do you feel like this is our active? Is there any way of getting a sense of that without? I guess I'm just trying to understand like where we are as a group, because we've just missed each other for so many years now.
Can I'll address some of that, Jenny.
Sure.
Kathy Reed and I were doing programs, and Marcia was sending out a newsletter and that. But last year, when we lost our website manager, Jess, and we lost our president, that left Marcia and I kind of on our own. And we've kind of just taken a back seat to see, okay, and regroup and see where we were. We did have a booth at the Pacific Northwest Fiber Expo, or I think that the expo wasn't right, but in Port
Right.
Angeles in first part of October.
Okay.
And that was good. It gave us some presents. Can't say we had the best spot, but maybe again. And after this meeting, if we decide to go forward, Mary Sue is very much a part of this Pacific Northwest, and we would need to decide to get a booth. I was filling out the form for it a few weeks ago and decided let's have our annual meeting first. So really the wool pelletizer, I think, has come up as our main way to get this moving again. But we need to have a discussion or see how many people are willing to back us. And if we can get a president, and because Marshall will stay on as treasurer, but we need.
Wait a minute, I didn't say that.
Well, we're hoping, but no, or we need a new treasurer, and it's not like, and it would be a different year if we can get the wool pelletizer and do it and get it out. I've also talked about, we can get it to the gardens, but I've also talked about, we all live in different areas, that maybe we could have a booth at some of the, help me out,
Garden shows.
the garden thing, the weekend garden shows.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, and it's a way to get it out. So there's lots of ways to do it. But unless we can get a board together, and not just the board, I would like to see committees, so you can be a board member at large or a committee member. And, we need committee members for membership, for technology, website or technology. And on those committees, you could have 2 or 3 people. So you're working together and moving this forward. But without it, I just don't see how we can do it. Because there's marketing to do. We've done a lot. John Manera with the co-op in Olympia, he helped us through in 2021. And as a board, we were really active and carried a lot of things forward. So even if we can get the wool pelletizer going, we have a lot of bases that we were working on for the full co-op, and for getting a washing machine probably first, and then adding equipment and building it up. And so we have it all laid out. We spent a good amount of time in 2021. In 2022, it kind of has been sitting, and that's why we didn't have an annual meeting last year.
So Deborah and Marcia, is there a way that we can kind of send out another email and just ask, like, kind of lay this on the line and just say, hey, what is your commitment to this? Or is Twisted Strait, like I know some people, COVID just killed their farms, and so they aren't even in fiber anymore. So is there a way for us to kind of have a better understanding of all the people who've put their money in, who are actually still invested and willing to maybe put some time in or rekindle the flame, because that's really what we're asking for here.
Yeah, it is what we're asking for. And yes, we could do that.
Oh, I can't hear you. I'm so sorry.
Out of our 16, I think there's 16 of us on here right now. How many, Mary Sue?
16.
15? Or 16 participants. I can't see.
Sorry, I was muted. 16, yes.
Yeah, I thought it was 16. So out of the 16, I can't, yeah, if we could go through and see and get a vote and opinion and see what you think. And I will just go through each person, and it would be nice to hear a little feedback from you. Just a minute or so, and say, what is your feeling? And if we can get this wool pelletizer, are you willing to help make the pelletizers? Are you willing to help marketing? Or what is your interest? Because we do not have a website manager at the time, and it's pretty hard to go forward if we can't keep the technology going. And Marcia has a lot on her plate, because she's been doing the membership, she's been doing the treasuring, she's been, she's been pretty well doing it. And I think it's time that we take some of it off her plate. So we can move forward, and everybody, because that's what a cooperative is sharing. So I'm going to start with you, Mary Sue, and say, where are you at?
So maybe I can entice Beth to walk back into the frame, because she won't let me commit to anything without, for those that don't know us, Beth and I own Cable Fiber and Yarn in Port Angeles. And so I think we would be willing to commit to definitely selling the packages and marking them on our website. And
only over this one.
And I know we want to, speaking for me, I want to keep this group going, and I want us to see our mission. And I still brainstorm for places that we can do this. And if we could figure out a way to fix the back of the basement in the store.
Yeah. And so the website, what exactly is the status? I went on there a few months ago to look at it. And so the web designer is not there, but what kinds of things are going on the website?
Nothing new is going on the website, unless Susan Kroll has posted anything, and I don't think she has. We do have a website manager, and he's doing a great job for a very little money, keeping us legal. So other than that, nothing is happening.
That's my kind of best strength is websites.
So that's, but is the website, are you talking about just the website? Or are you talking about the whole social media part of it?
Social media?
Facebook,
Instagram.
Oh, that's a dirty word as far as I'm concerned. No, I was just talking about the website.
Okay.
We have no social media presence.
I think one of the things that Beth and I can bring to this is that we know a lot of different point of sale systems, and there are a lot of point of sale systems that actually the website comes with it. For this that's small enough, there's some really tiny ones, but we learned a lot when we went to our point of sale system that has the website and has the search engine optimization and we have sales from the East Coast all the time. We still haven't figured out how they're hearing from us, but that's great. Wow. And so I think that's where we can help this group is on the end of bringing to the group some suggestions of, especially with me and my finance background, here's what it would cost to do this. And I think we can do it relatively inexpensive to get a website that also has a point of sale with it so that we could use it to get our product out, as well as keep track of things when we sell at wholesale and those kind of things.
Yeah, and it would be nice for more members to be able to sell their products out too. Yeah,
and I think so. I think that I'm thinking she's saying, I think from what I'm looking at her face is that we could give that kind of help to this group to get back involved again. Right now, I'm almost retired from the city so that I can devote more time to things.
I just want to say, I think that this is an important thing for us to have in our community. Mm-hmm. It's just that it's been going on for so long, it's kind of lost momentum. Mm-hmm. Going forward with something actual happening, I think would be a good way for us to go.
And we're committed. We would like to help. I think that's where we can help is on the financial side, doing the analysis for, I know Marcia, you sent me that spreadsheet and I haven't had a chance to get into it much more than I looked at it initially, and everything made sense to me, but we can help on that end. And so we definitely could, I think we could probably help on the marketing end, I guess is what I'm saying, because we're doing it now for the store. And we're almost good enough. We're not very good on Instagram, but we're getting better on Facebook.
Yeah, I'm noticing a big difference with your store too. So that's great. So that gives us some feedback of where some people, some members stepping up. So Angela, I'm going to ask you.
Oh, wait a minute. Can I just say one more thing? I wouldn't mind being on the board again in the future if she'll let me and say that I have time for it. Yeah, she's.
And what would you like to do on the board, Mary Sue? What would you like to do on the board?
I would like to be a board member. A member at large. I can't do treasurer right now. I could do that stuff in the future, but not in 2023.
Yeah, but you could be a board member at large and do the finance and budget marketing thing, or something like in those degrees. Okay, that's good to know. Angela, I'm going to call on you.
You're muted.
Thanks for saying that. Okay, I have 3 different companies and I can't add more work to my plate. My husband's not home yet with the hay, so I could volunteer and then he'd find out later that I've done. But I am restricted from volunteering for any more stuff. That said, I have a lot of resources that might be of use to Twisted Straits. We have a co-op of organic consultants that has used the Northwest Co-op Development Center to build out our business plan. So I'm very familiar with how they work. And we used shared capital to get a loan to start. So I'm very familiar with how they work. I have properties in different areas. If it's necessary that you need a place, I'm building a new barn at our Posbo farm. So maybe we can section out a section of it for wool pelletizer. There'll be electricity in it if you have to wire it in. It's on Highway 3, so it's probably well situated for people to, come in and off the highway and stuff like that. I've often thought about being on the board in the past, but am already on 3 boards, and I just don't think I can make it work. But I do want to see this go forward, definitely.
Okay. And that's what I'm really asking, how many people really want to put some out? Yeah. And I mean, geez, if the possibility of having a place to put the wool pelletizer is great. And it sounds like it brings some experience. So thank you.
Sure.
Cal, you're in California, but.
Yeah, so 2022 was an interesting year for us. My husband is a supply chain manager and logistician, so he's in kind of high demand. And he ended up taking a position with another company. And they brought him down here to Southern California to train him. And we kind of got stuck here. But he's currently in Sumner right now and just applied for a position with the same company in Sumner. So we should know in the next couple weeks if he's got the position. And he's telling me, because he's up there right now, that they're already assuming that he has the position, and they're starting to integrate him into all the meetings and all the everything going on up there. So it'll be a big surprise to the company in Sumner if he doesn't get it. So we should be back in Washington sooner than later. As far as, so right now I'm currently in California. I am not working right now, so I have a lot of free time, especially because we've been in limbo. So I do have that availability as far as free time. Geographically, I'm a little detached at the moment. I do excel at networking, and maybe I could help in the promotion aspect of and networking for this. When I'm back in Washington, I'd love to give you my time to help with it as well.
Well, that's good to know.
Yeah, so I'm sort of retired myself. Don't look at my face. I'm older than I look. So I don't have any plans for becoming employed anywhere. I'm just, I joke that I'm, just arm candy now for my husband at his different functions and things, but I do have a lot of free time. So those are the things I can offer. I can offer you my free time, and I can offer you, not only networking, but, getting my husband on board to help maybe with supply chain and those aspects, the logistics of that kind of thing.
That's huge.
So-
And even if you settle in Sumner, we would love to be able to branch it out, the product eventually. So you're on the other side where there's a lot more people to be interested in it. And you're also down in some agriculture area on the outside of Sumner.
Yeah.
So that's great. Yeah. Okay, Jennifer, there's a Jenny and there's Jennifer Watkins.
I would be happy to be a worker bee. I don't have any technology background or social media. I'm not good at. But when it comes down to putting the pellets in the boxes and assisting with getting them out to wherever they need to go, happy to do that.
Well, thank you.
I'd like to see this be a go. I agree with pretty much what everybody's been saying is we've lost momentum and we need a project to get it going again. It sounds like if we have a place, potentially Angela's barn, if I'm hearing right, we should have enough wool to make the products go. I guess that, just being sure that if we put all the money into the pelletizer, that we've got enough product to actually turn it around. It sounds like we think we do.
Yeah.
And from a marketing standpoint, it sounds like we've got the boxes. And I think that was a concern a while ago is, I remember when we talked about this more than a year ago, would we need to hire somebody to do our marketing, which, that would cost money. It sounds like we've got the boxes. We would need people going out to garden centers. I mean, what does it look like, I guess? And is that what our co-op members could do?
I don't know. And that's a good question. And we've discussed it. We did hire a marketing firm to come up with the design for the earth woolies. So that's huge that we paid somebody. So when I said we did a lot in 2021, that was part of it, hiring a marketing that came up with the design, and we have the name Earth Woolies, and they gave us some to choose from, and we did the boxes. So we have the product there, so to not use it is kind of, but that's great that, and we need worker bees and we need people to get it out. So that's great to know. Susan Kroll.
Cool. Yeah, I'm all into this. I'm a worker bee. Marketing just frightens me. My one question about this is, I see the earth woolies as a very seasonal thing, which means we need to get on it because we are getting right into the growing season. And I wonder what the delivery time on the machine would be. Marcia?
I don't know. I don't know.
Well, I'm just wondering, is it going to be a this year thing or, next year would be our first real year? I mean, it doesn't matter, but that's a consideration to make maybe.
Well, yeah, and we have kind of discussed it. I think we'll go around, but I think if we do go forward, because each step takes time. So we might not have the product ready until next spring or next January, but maybe we can have it earlier. but I think if we have a vote at the end of this, whether we go forward, I don't see holding off. And other people can answer that too, if we do go forward, because who knows how long one step will take, because we've tried this, it's taken longer than we thought.
Right. I have another question, which is, I still have things in inventory on the website, as far as I know. I have other things I can put on the website, but I didn't really know how to get that done. So do I take pictures and send information to Mary Sue and Beth, or just hold off on that too? Or what's this?
This is Marcia. No, you don't want to send them to Mary Sue and Beth. They wouldn't know what to do with them. At this point, I
So
don't know.
Jess is out of the picture entirely?
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, I get these weekly things, or semi-weekly things, whatever they are, that give me my order reports, which of course is nothing, but I didn't know where they were coming from. Just
I would have to talk to Jess about it to see, what her state is. And I would say at this point, no.
okay, no new listings.
No new listings for a while.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, if you let me know, then,
Okay.
that'd be nice.
Unless we have somebody that's really good at technology or websites and could step up, because like Marcia said, we do have somebody that's managing, making sure it runs properly
Mhm, mhm.
and that we're paying a minimal fee, but we have nobody out there promoting
We're all
Jen
analog.
Facebook, and she set up the thing. Yeah, exactly. We have nobody pushing it out there, and or social, whatever if that's what you want to call it. Because but we do have the Facebook too. So I mean, all of us could start using the Facebook, and maybe that'll, checking in, putting some pictures. And that's what Jess was trying to get everybody to do. So as members, if we do start using that more, that generates more interest.
It's a communication tool. Is that what you mean? It's not a sales thing.
No,
You don't,
no, our website's a sale, but the Facebook is getting us out there, and know. And that doesn't hurt. So that's something else that we could talk about. But okay, Susan Savage.
I am a good worker bee. I am on 2 boards right now and overwhelmed with that. And we are planning on traveling a lot in the next year. I would like to see us move forward. I think that it wouldn't, what's there to lose with going forward? I mean, really.
Yeah.
I mean, the money we invested years ago, I don't want it back. I want to see us move forward. So if I'm here when there's things going on, I will happily participate. But for me, leadership right now is not something I can contribute to.
And that's fine. It's just having that knowing that people want this to go forward. Okay, Jenny.
Hi. I would love to see this move forward. I'm happy to be on the board. I joked around a long time ago that I'm not really a good board person because I'm kind of opinionated. But I'm happy to help in that capacity. My husband is also here listening, and he would like to put together sort of like, what would you call it, Josh? A business, some modeling for us, modeling out some financials.
Financial model.
Thank you. So that we know.
Done. We did that with John McNamara in 2021. We have quite a bit of it. I don't know. You can input here, Marcia. But
I think it sounds great, and I have a lot of numbers, and if he want to talk to me, I'd love to talk back.
Okay, great. That's sort of his deal. He's in data, so he's happy to help with that kind of thing. he also mentioned that Kitsap Fresh, I was hoping Ronnie might mention this, but I think maybe she got off the call, but Kitsap Fresh used Craft 3 for some financing. I don't know how long ago that was, but he thought that that might be another option, just to throw that out there. But I don't have any technology skills really. I'm sort of a little bit social media literate. I don't know anything about websites or anything like that, but I am really happy to help. I would really like to see this move forward and just promote wool in our area. Skagit was, when I reached out to Skagit, they were like, well, maybe you can pull together all the Kitsap wool and have a Kitsap, wool pellet party. And I was like, well, I didn't say anything. I was like, well, in my head, I'm like, we're already working on that, but I didn't want to let them know that necessarily. Not that it's a competition thing or anything, but but I'm happy to move forward and help on the board in any capacity that works for whatever you're missing, I guess. I'm not also a treasurer person though. Money is not my deal. So no skills really.
Well, that's not true. Everybody has skills. So, but just looking to see what the enthusiasm is, and that's what people asked. That's what Jennifer asked, and that's what we're going through to see. So I'm going to ask Katie.
Hi, I'm kind of new to this group. I've been following you guys for years, maybe since you first started, but I'm over here in North Central Washington, so I'm a little far away. And my interest was just trying to find a mill in Washington State that would process my wool for me. And so I just was following you guys to see if you were going to get something up and running. I just signed on this meeting to find out what you're all about. I'm really excited about the pellet idea, but I'm too far away to really participate in anything. So I'm just here to kind of learn, and any wool business in Washington State is fantastic as far as I'm concerned. And even if I can't help, I will definitely try to spread the word.
So Katie, what is your opinion of, even though you are farther away, but what's your opinion of us going ahead with wool pelletizer to grow the business so we can go ahead with the wool, the mill?
Yeah, I think it's a great idea. I think it would just, I'm not much of a financial person. I have a hobby farm. So, I'm not trying to make a living doing this or anything, but I think as long as it pencils out, I think the interest is high. Every person since I found out about the pellets a few years ago, I've been trying to find a way to do it myself, because I've got probably 300 or 400 pounds of old fleeces stacked up that I can't bear to get rid of. And I tell people about it, and everybody's just super excited about the idea of pellets. Everyone I know who gardens, and we've got, like, over here I live in the Matt-Hale Valley, there's a lot of small egg producers, people who have organic farms. And I think they would just be thrilled. And I'm sure you guys have similar over there. So I think the market is there. No question.
Thank you. So Gunvor, I'm sorry, I got that wrong.
No, you're fine. I joined just to support you. Anything that has to do with wool and processing the wool is fine with me. I don't have a farm and I don't have animals. I just work with all the fiber that I can. So the best I can do is volunteer. If you have work to do, I'll be glad to do it.
Okay. And what do you feel about the wool pelletizer?
Well, to tell you the truth, I signed in a little bit late. I don't know what that is. I don't know what it does. But
we'll catch up on it then. Okay, Kim.
Okay. Sorry. Okay, so I've been following you guys for quite a while. I had raised sheep for probably 20 some years, and we're in the process of downsizing our flock to maybe 0. I'm not really sure. We're trying to sell this piece of property, so I don't anticipate getting a big flock or keeping a lot of sheep in the future. I'm very disappointed about the lack of the mill part, and had to do, actually go to Oregon to get a bunch of wool processed, and the shipping and the cost of shipping has been really prohibitive for me. I was raising churros for quite a while, and the market is mostly in the Southwest for my fiber. So, that was that's kind of been a deterrent for the future. So I'm not really sure about the pelletizer. This is the first time I've really heard about wool pellets. And I heard that there's a competitor right there in Skagit. So that is kind of something that would need to go into the mix. The gal, I think it was Kel, asked about insulation, and there's people making wool insulation in Reno, Nevada. I would like to see a mill happen, and I'd like to, I'm not sure exactly how I could be supportive. I'm outside of Chehalis right now, and we'll be moving further south to Cowlitz County, probably. Well, that's definite, because we've been building the property over there. So I'm just going further away from where the mill would be. That's kind of disappointing a little bit. I knew it was not going to be anywhere close to me, but it would be nice to have a mill on the peninsula, because
Isn't there a mill in
further.
Shelton?
There is, and if you want to go all the way to yarn, and that's possible. But as I've been doing churro, I was more interested in getting bats done. So I bought a small, well, it's kind of more cottage industry, but a carder for making bats for felting. And I've been trying to experiment with going that route. But then we were building a house, and literally my husband and I were building it. So that's taken a couple of years. And now we're trying to get this place, deferred maintenance so that we could sell this farm. So that's been kind of, like just washing wool and getting it moved has been more the priority.
Yeah. Well,
So, okay, well, as far as what I could contribute, I'm not really sure. I do have some technology skills. And I am taking I took accounting last year, and I'm kind of learning more about what accounting actually means in the real world. So I don't know. That's what I have for now.
Well, I think that's what you shared with us was very good, because it's saying, because you're not currently a member, are you? Are you currently?
I am a member. I've been a member for a while, but I'm not an active member.
I don't have the list in
No,
front
it's
of me.
fine.
So,
Fine, I don't care.
but what I'm hearing though is that you want this to go forward. You would like to see it go forward, the mill, the whole Twisted Strait fiber.
Yes, and I'm very interested in the cooperative business model, and I'd like to do some more exploring about how that actually works. But that, yeah, so
Okay.
it seemed like you needed to be tied up you have to be tied up with a business before the Northwest Co-op people really will give you training. So that's kind of something that's of interest to me, but I'm not sure how that works out if I don't live nearby. So
yeah,
there's that.
Well, thanks, Kim. Wendy,
Yeah.
are you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here. I've been listening in, and I keep changing venues. So I am very excited about the pelletizer. I was excited about it last time. I am really hoping that it goes. And I needed to take a break for my family to be able to just address some issues at home, but I want to get active again in helping the cooperative. If you know, I've been on the board before and I want to help, but I'm not sure whether or not you all want me back, because I don't have any advanced skills in anything in particular. I just, again, like, you know, a lot of other people say, I'm willing to show up, and that's what I did. And I do still have the administrative ability on Instagram and Facebook to put things on there. I think that, you know, I think the hardest thing is to generate any kind of content when you're not really doing anything. But you know, if we actually have something that we're doing and we're moving forward with, and we can, you know, post pictures of what we're doing and what our product is going to look like, and where it's going to be sold at, or if you can buy boxes and all those kinds of things, then there's content. And so I definitely think this is a great idea, a great way to move forward and to generate income. And I do really think that we need to build credit, and by using a loan instead of just, and I understand that takes a board to approve that, and that you need a board. And so count me in.
Thank you. That sounds good. Anne, are you there?
I am there. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
I think it's critical that Twisted Strait continues, and does not give up.
Okay.
We have actually more people who know about us than that we're really talking about. I was approached a month ago by Dollars and Cents. I just happened to go to a live performance in town, and she came running over and said, "You're part of Twisted Strait, right?" And I said, "Yes." And she said, "We want to loan you guys money." So, you know, they know we're here. The rest of the world knows we're here. I think we need to press on. What I can do is I have a truck. I'm willing to donate some time to move product. One thing that wasn't mentioned that I think needs to be brought out today is that back in 2020, Marcia and I went to numerous landscape stores.
Mm-hmm.
There was a lot of enthusiasm for this product, for the woolies. So
yeah,
that's all I have.
Okay, thanks, Anne. And Maya, or I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing
Maya.
it. Maya.
That's okay. Yeah, Maya, I use she, her pronouns, and I run Dusk to Dawn Farm. I sell my vegetables on Kitsap Fresh, and I have a flock of sheep that I milk for my own self and sell the meat, and have been sending my fiber down to Soundview Fiber Mill and getting it carted into roving as well as into yarn. I sold my yarn at Fiber Fusion in Monroe last June, and was really surprised at how much interest there was in yarn, and there were a couple mills advertising there. I think reaching out to like the knitters, gardeners group, you know, that seems to be a Venn diagram where those two overlap, and you know, maybe being at Fiber Fusion or something like that. to look for new members. I think knitters might be willing to support something to be a member, even if they're not interested in having their own sheep and all of that. They still would like to support local, locally produced wool. One thing, I just did some back of the envelope math on those possibly fictional 80 head that somebody's throwing away their fleeces from. And if we're selling the pellets in 2 pounds, that 80 head might only give us like 26 cases. So it's a lot of wool if we're selling 2 pounds. You know, I mean, I understand we're also selling a lot of dirt and lanolin, which is great because it's a lot easier to sell the raw wool if it's you know. One thing I've noticed with my vegetables is if I'm able to further process the vegetables, then people will buy that. And so people aren't interested in buying raw wool, but they certainly are interested in buying pelleted stuff because that's much, you know, neater and cleaner. I have put my own wool, my own raw junk wool in the garden, and it really does deter the slugs, which is a really fantastic thing. So I can highly recommend that. One thing I did think about is like having a presence at maybe like Kitsap County Fair or Jefferson County Fair, and having a booth and putting out the word that we would collect fleece that people don't want. I think I have a neighbor who has 3 or 4 sheep and he never knows what to do with his fleece. So I think there might be fleece out there that could be turned into pellets, but I think the labor of finding, collecting that fleece, and then the labor of processing that into the pellets themselves, as well as the labor to box up the finished pellets and then ship the pellets. As someone who tried to have an employee last year, I can just see those as pinch points that are going to happen. I'm also in Paulsbo. I don't know if I mentioned that, but I also have a shop that could be a corner of the shop that could be turned into a pelletizing place. And it's next to a main panel. And between my husband and my father, I can probably get that wired in. So I think there are people, you know, who are willing to have it. And I'm not able to be on a board between the farm and 2 kids and, you know, see my brain explode here. But I am happy to be a part of a work party where it's like, now we're going to go and do this thing and get it done, as long as it's not Saturday, because I'm selling at the farmer's market.
Well, I think a lot of people might be doing stuff on Saturday for that sort of thing. But
Yeah.
you know, everything you said is really good, and to, you know, a portion of your place. And Angela's, it popped up, but it's gone. But it must be in your chat. You might look at your chat because she put up about having once a month having a collection, and that's a really good point, Angela. Yeah. And so Summer, did I ask, I don't think you've spoken yet.
Oh, hi, I'm just brand new to this meeting tonight. I'm actually Maya's neighbor, and I'm a student at Evergreen College, and I'm doing an independent learning contract around sheep and wool this quarter. So I'm reading Vanishing Fleece right now too. So this is like super intriguing information for me. So I don't really have any thoughts. I think this is the first I've heard of wool pellets, and as a gardener, I think that's an amazing idea, and I want some already. But I don't have any, I don't feel I have any opinions one way or another for the work that you guys have been putting in prior to this. So I will keep that to myself. I will throw out though that I am looking for some scraggly fleeces to use just for my school projects, and am willing to come help out with anybody that has sheep or wants to teach me anything. I'll put my contact information in the chat, and yeah, and I feel for you guys. I was part of a group that kind of dwindled off, during COVID and stuff, and it is hard to just regain that momentum. But I think what you guys are doing are super cool. So keep it up.
Well, thank you. Yeah. Well, and please keep watching and talk to Maya what's going on. So who knows? Sometime we might be able to do something with us. So, okay. Well, that was really good going around because we got feedback from everybody. And it sounds like nobody wants this to dissolve. So that is good news. But we do need to have a vote tonight and come up with a board. And it doesn't even have to be people that necessarily just the people here. If you know a member that might, or you might suggest, it would be nice if we could get a board together. I don't know where you want to stand on the board, Marcia, since you're the primary.
No matter what I decide to do, I am so involved in this that I would have to back out very gradually. So why don't you just consider me still on the board?
Yeah, but do you want to stay as treasurer, or do you want to just?
I will stay as treasurer until we find.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. So we need a president. I could step aside for vice president if anybody wants that role.
Deborah,
yeah.
I'm sorry to interrupt you.
That's okay.
I would suggest that you ask for volunteers to be on the board. We've already noted that several people have, and then vote to elect them. We don't have to assign positions at this time.
Oh, that's true. We don't. Okay, thank you, Marcia. We don't. So anybody, yes, a lot of you did say you wouldn't mind being on the board. So when we did elect our other board, Marcia's right, we just said, would you like to be on the board? And then we did positions after at the regular monthly meeting. So if you're on the board, we do a Zoom monthly meeting. And so it would be nice to get back to that. And it does keep things going. It's not all consuming, it takes about hour to an hour and a half, the board meetings. And it's nice, we're doing it Zoom since COVID. We're not having to go to wherever, we were meeting. So who would like to be on the board? Can you speak up or raise your hand? Okay, Mary Sue.
You could use the reactions and just raise your hand that way. So it's easy for you to get a reaction and just say raise hand, and then everybody will pop up for you. That's it, just me?
No. Jenny said she would.
Oh, Jenny, okay, I didn't see that. Okay, so you would like to be in the board. Okay, great, Jenny. And
reactions aren't working for me. Sorry.
I would definitely love to be on a committee, like,
okay.
On your, what I was talking about before, promotions and marketing committee. I think I would be very helpful.
I figured the committees would be set up from board members at large.
Okay.
So if you volunteer for the board, that doesn't mean you get but you'd be a board member at large, and then we can decide on the committees for everybody. So if people want to be on a committee and they don't want a major board position, please speak up, because it's a board member at large, and that they are huge. They actually sometimes board members or committee members and committee heads, and they can run a group. They can really do a lot for a group. And I think we need a lot of those people. So thank you, Cal.
I think Wendy Bond also volunteered to be on the board.
Yes, she did.
Yes, I'm interested in being on the board again.
Okay.
And Angela's got her hand up
Yeah, I can't see hands. I'm sorry.
on the
But that's-
picture.
I'm going for it. If there's an option to be at large, then I'd like to join Kel in the committee section.
Okay.
I think a lot of us want to be at large.
Well,
That's how it starts.
It's a big start. Even if you're on the committee section, it's a big start. And also it brings enthusiasm to our meetings. Just like the enthusiasm was here tonight, if we have more people. If you don't have enough people, you can't bring in the ideas. So thank you, Kim. Anybody else that I'm missing, I'm not seeing? You might just have to speak up.
What's the
I
date
have
of
a
your next board
question.
meeting? Sorry, go ahead.
Okay, is that me? Okay, so I would like to know, is this are you basically asking for a working board? I mean, is the board it then goes out and does their own projects, or can you describe what your expectation is?
You want to take that, Marcia?
The board. It's more of an organizational board than a board that actually goes out and gets things done. But that's not always true. I don't quite know how to answer that question. We do a lot of organizing.
Well,
Figuring
won't we
out-
need a board so that we can be able to approve a loan and that kind of thing?
Yes, we do need it for that. We also need it, the board has been trying to come up with ideas of how to move us along, and more people for that is good, more ideas. The wool palletizer came out of that with Marcia and Ann, I believe. So yeah. And the board can also change as we move ahead. So.
Okay. Well, yeah, I guess I'm hesitating. Maybe I should I could put my hand up then to be considered or part of it or something.
Yeah, and come to our meeting, our next meeting, and we'll let you know. And we'll discuss the committees, we'll discuss the actual board and come up with what we're gonna do.
Okay.
When are your meetings? Because
Marcia, we haven't really, we used to have a time, this last year we haven't. So we could set a day that works for the board members. And that's what we usually did, was
yeah,
set
'cause
it.
I have certain nights that are out, so.
Yeah, with what worked with board members. So usually we did, a lot of times we did early evening, just like this was. not always, it depended on if we were meeting with John. Then they were sometimes during working hours. So that, that can be discussed, and any members are welcome to come to a board meeting and everything too. So anything else?
Anyone burst and doodle? Sorry, go ahead,
No,
Kel.
go ahead. I was just going to reply to something Maya had said earlier. I don't have sheep. I'm a fiber artist. So I don't know if she knew that a few years ago, you guys did a great job of reaching out to people like me in the community and offering up. I think I got involved when somebody offered a natural dye class in like, I forgot what town. Anyway, and so yeah, it is. I've always seen this guild as being, all encompassing, and that you didn't have to be a farmer to be a part of it. That there's many aspects of the fiber world that but the cool thing is when you have people coming from different directions, we have different things we can bring to the table, as far as ideas and, connections and just all of it, so I just wanted, I don't know if Maya's still here, but I just wanted her to know that, there are some of us in the group that, are knitters and, and not farmers. So in fact, Mary Sue, I'm knitting your yarn right now.
That's really great. And oh, sorry, Maya's speaking here. Sorry. For a while I was a member of Barn on Bainbridge, and that's a crafting group that's cooperatively run also. And I think it would be cool, to have another event. I could offer I don't do natural dyeing, but I do chemical dyeing. So, something like that I'd be happy to run a class. I know that knitters are definitely interested in that kind of stuff.
Yes, they are. And we were doing workshops and events, and the last one was Susan Kroll and myself. We had a natural dye one last August. So we did, and we raised a little bit of money for Twisted Strait Fibers. And that was Susan's. She got a fleece donated to her. And so she came up with the idea that we do a natural dye, but we gave the wool, we split it up to the people in the class, and they had to spin it by August when we got together to dye it. And that was a lot of fun. It was well attended, and it was great. If you want to add to that, Susan.
I had fun.
Yeah. I think everybody that came had fun. Yeah. And we've got great pictures of that. So really they should be out there, I guess, but it's it's technology and getting that out. So, somebody that, even if our members don't know maybe how to get it up, if one person is receiving that, pictures from members and posts it and stuff, that, that can make a huge difference for us. Well, I'm going to move ahead because I think everybody needs, so I'm going to go through who I've got written down. And if I missed anybody, please let me know. I've got Jenny, Cal, Wendy, Angela, Kim, and Mary Sue. And then Marcia and I are still on the board.
Okay, Deborah.
Yeah.
Were those, Kel is not a member. She could.
I am a member.
She's a member.
Oh, what's your last name?
Seaman, Seaman, like a
I
baby
beg
seaman.
your pardon. I beg.
No
your
worries.
pardon.
No worries.
Okay, never mind. I'm gonna shut up now.
So we need, there's 16 present. Is there 16 still, Mary Sue?
No, there isn't. There's 5, 10, there's 10, 11, 12, 13. There's 14 of us. And Beth's here. So there actually is 15. because
Okay.
You have quorum then, yeah.
Thirds,
Yeah.
so that's 10 to vote for this slate. Oh, you can
No,
count
Susan's
the
hands are
hands.
right up, so we just need
Mary,
everybody.
count the hands.
Oh, count the hands. Kim, are you voting yes? I don't see, oh, she froze. Kim froze. Oh, no, she's not. She's voting. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I don't know how Maya's doing.
Conflict of interest.
14. So we have 14 out of the 15, and Summer's not a member. So
Okay.
that's a unanimous vote.
So it's a unanimous vote. Okay. Thank you all. This makes Marcia and I really feel good, doesn't it?
Yeah, I want to know, be sure and put the word out when you get that pelletizer.
Yeah.
We can all show up for our work. All of us worker bees can show up for the work party.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
And
do
another thing, I
there's
was
anything
thinking
else,
about when
let
you
us
said you
know.
had all these fleas.
I think we went through everything then.
Gunvor
Marcia?
had something to say.
Yeah, Marcia, Deborah, Gunvar wants to talk.
Oh, okay.
Oh, well, I was just thinking, as I was listening to all of you and all these fleas sitting all over Western Washington, you know, I'd be glad to take a driving trip and I'll collect it all and give it to wherever it's going.
Wonderful.
Thank you, Gunvar.
Thank
I
you.
like little road trips.
Excellent. There you go. And you could take pictures and then we could post it on Instagram.
Yes.
So
need
are
to
you
join
also getting the
Facebook.
shredder? Oh, sorry. You're getting the shredder at the same time? Because I have some long fleeces that could probably go.
Don't know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Anything else anybody wants to share?
Need to figure out when the next meeting is going to be for the BOD and if there's a doodle poll that could go out. Anybody versed on that?
I am.
Yeah.
I
Can
could
you
do
send it
that,
to this group?
Angela. I could do that, Angela.
Great.
So is evenings best for everyone?
I'm free just about any time.
Yeah,
Okay.
Mondays during the day are mostly free, going out several weeks. I mean, I'm booked right now, but the store's not open on Mondays. Other than that, evenings are better or before 11.
Okay, is there a night of the week that's bad for anybody?
Monday is bad.
Okay, I'll send out a doodle poll.
Yeah, yeah. Okay,
All right.
that sounds really good.
So-
Okay, thank you all.
Before we
And-
leave,
Seeing everyone.
Marcia,
Bye.
Deborah, stay on.
You all.
Yeah.
Hooray.
Mary Sue,
Yeah, I was hoping you guys would stay on. So this video will take probably the better part of 45 minutes to an hour to generate. So I'm just going to have to walk away from the computer and let it generate. Then I'll save it. Then somebody's going to have to tell me what the YouTube page is and give me some sort of permissions to post it there. So,
okay. I will research that.
okay,
Thanks for doing this, Mary Sue.
no problem. So let me know when you want us to do it again.
Okay, so Marcia, you have to feel good after that now.
Yeah, I do. Thank you, Deborah. Yeah,
That, because that's like a lot of, people for our board and stuff. So that's good.
yes. Yep.
This was a really successful meeting, I think.
Yeah, was it Jenny, Kim, me, Cal, Wendy, and Angela?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. I just want to make sure I got everybody. Okay,
Yeah.
well, I'm going to
Yeah.
stop this because the sooner I stop this, the faster it will start to generate.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, and I'm going to save the chat. Okay.
Oh, yes.